my name is Kassandra Tohm. I am also an MSU volleyball player, so obviously today my topic is going to be volleyball. I'm going to have three main points, which is going to be the background and history of volleyball, the rules and positions, and then at the end the different types and levels of volleyball. So let's start off with the history. Volleyball was originally called Minueta. It was created in 1895 by William J. Morgan, and it was actually created 4 years after basketball, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Volleyball is a combination between basketball, tennis, hardball, and baseball. Personally, I don't think that we always use all of those sports in volleyball. I mean, I never thought of it that way until I read this fact online. Another interesting fact about the history was the net is originally 6 feet 6 inches, but back then a lot of Americans and people who played were a lot smaller. Today, the women's height is 7'4", and the men's is 8 feet. So you can see by the way that people have grown over the years, so is the height of the net. So my next topic that we're going to get into is how to play the game, the positions, all that kind of fun stuff. So first, we're going to talk about equipment. You need the net, a court, which is 9x9, a ball, an antenna on each end so you know if the ball goes out or not, and then of course 6 people on each side. So the rules of the game are pretty simple. You got to keep the ball off the ground, don't touch the net, and if the ball is out of bounds, then there's usually tape on the court or kind of like a built-in paint. If it goes out of that, then it's out. If it's on, it's in. And you always have an up ref and a down ref. The up ref is controlled to if it touches the tape, the ball's in or out, and they have the overall rule. The down ref kind of keeps control of if they go under the net, just for cautionary purposes and safety. There's also 2 people keeping score on lines, so they get a closer view if the ball is in or out. So, for positions, there's a total of 4 important positions. You got your middles, which are hitters, your outside, which is going to be on the left and the right, and they're also hitters. You have your setter, which is kind of like the quarterback of the team, and your libero, which switches out for the middles in back row. There's also a few other positions like a serving specialist, a defense specialist, just those kind of things just help out with the defense of the team. Typically, the bigger you are as a player, it's harder to get low, and the slower you are as defense. But there's some people in the Olympics who are almost 6'4" as a libero, so height doesn't really necessarily decide of where you're going to play. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is the different types of volleyball and the progression that you can actually go into. So there are 2 main types, indoor, which is court, and outdoor, which is sand, or some people call it beach. So the main difference here is indoor you have 6 people, and in beach you have 2. It's really important that you communicate well with your partner because only you and her or you and him are on the court at once. So there's no, you can't let the ball drop if you don't go for it or anything like that. Other types of volleyball would be 9-men, which is actually a really interesting type of volleyball. You have to be a quarter Asian to play. And I know it from Canada. I'm not really sure if the United States is familiar with it, but there's 9 people on the court. Typically men play it. It's played on concrete. And same thing, you only have 3 touches. All the other rules are the same, but you have to be a quarter Asian to play. Another form of volleyball would be like grass volleyball, or I saw this new one online the other day called medicine ball volleyball. So that one you just throw a medicine ball back and forth. And not necessarily all the rules of the game, but some people like to put their own spin on it. So the progressions of volleyball is just kind of where you want to go. So I started in high school, most people do, and then I went into club and then to my provincial team, which is kind of like your state team. And then I went off to college to get a full-ride scholarship. Some people play Division 1, 2, 3. There's tons of opportunities to play in the States for collegiate volleyball. Some people are even lucky enough to go play overseas professionally and actually get paid for it. So that is another opportunity that volleyball can give you as a job. Of course, it's nothing like the NFL, but you're still getting paid to do something that you love. The next progression would be being on an Olympic team or a national team representing your country. So I thought that was always kind of a goal to reach someday, but you never know at this age. So in conclusion, we talked about the history of it. We talked about the rules and positions, so hopefully you guys have some idea of how to play and where you would want to fit on the court, either a setter, a libero, a hitter. That's what you decide and you go towards. And lastly, we talked about the types of volleyball and where you'd want to go as a player. So, we talked a lot about volleyball today. Hopefully, get your mind going like a rally, and hopefully, you dig up some information. And yeah, thank you for listening. Oh, I talk so fast.
Whatever. Thanks. My computer's a lot.